Good morning, everyone. Welcome back once again. I'm Nicodemus Kane. Today is August the 29th of 2022. It is a Monday. I am feeling it. We had a long weekend. Well, not really long weekend. It was pretty good. We got to celebrate my granddaughter's 4th birthday. It was it was really good to be able to get out and to see her again. I haven't seen her in like 3 weeks. It's been a while. Yeah, 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since they moved out. It's actually been a month since I got cut off from her. That's a long story. Anyways, we had a good time. She had a good time. It was really nice. She is a ray of light. She really is. I know you can go back for the past 3 months, some of the recordings, and sometimes she would break in on me as I was recording. She's such a beautiful, beautiful little girl. But we did that and got to see the newest edition, Archer. That's his name. He was born a week and a half ago, about 10 days. He's a little thing. He's just, little tiny brand new baby. He's still got grumpy old man face. He was just pissed at everything. Just did not like just did not like being there. The babies, they just come out and they got that look like they're just pissed at the world. They're just like, why am I here? Why am I here? What am I doing here? So that's all he did. But we got to see him, and it was good. It was really good. I was glad we were able to get out. Because of that, I don't really have too much world events to talk about. We don't really have time to talk about world events anyways, because if we're going to do Isaiah 37 today, we need to get on it. This is a long one. This is a good 2 pages, maybe 2.5. I don't even know. It's long enough that we need to get on the ball, as it were. Let me open my water so that I have that available. I was snacking on some tortilla chips yesterday. I had one go down in my lungs. That's the most awesome feeling in the world, is inhaling a particle of tortilla. Tore me up. But you can hear my voice is it's still a little messed up because I was hacking and coughing, and it would just, chew your food, kids. Chew your food, and try not to inhale it. Your lungs cannot process food. All right. Anyways, that's enough of that stuff. Isaiah 37. We have to go back a little bit to take this into context to make sure we understand what's happening. This was in 36. What's this guy's name? Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came against all the defense cities of Judah and took them. And we were talking about everything before this has been pointing to the end of days, where the king of Syria will come and he will take everything. This is talking about in the 14th year of King Hezekiah that the king of Assyria came through. Now, I was saying it's entirely possible that these are 2 completely different events, because everything that happens before this, the way they described it before this, it is talking about this end time prophecy of things that will happen. Not only that, but we are talking about a child being born unto a virgin that will happen at this time. And he will be the cornerstone He will be the savior of these people. And all of this stuff, all of these things that will come to pass are everything that the book of Revelation says. You shall have fire and brimstone and, famines and all this other kind of stuff. Wipe everything out. And that there will be a way for everybody to come back to Jerusalem to worship God, because everything is falling apart. But at the same time, we read this in the 14th year of King Hezekiah that Sennacherib of Assyria comes up against everybody, and he sends out this guy Rabshakeh. This guy goes out and he's sitting there and he's telling everybody, I came because your God sent me here to bring it. Now, where is it at? And am I now come up without the Lord against this land to destroy it? The Lord said unto me, go up against this land and destroy it. That's what this guy is saying. And he's telling it to the people of Jerusalem in their own language. And they are yelling back at him. They're saying, why don't speak to us in our language, Why don't you, where was it at? Speak, I pray thee, unto thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it. And speak not to us in the Jews' language, in the ears of the people that are on the wall. You can speak to us, don't yell all this stuff out in our language, because our people are in here. They're going to understand it. They're probably going to freak out whenever they hear it. And they're probably going to put two and two together and figure out, oh, this is the end of days. This is the king of Syria. But of course, he doesn't do it. And he's still saying, we're coming. And if you make an agreement and come out, I will put you in a different land. I will put you in a place just like this, but we want this land. We are going to take this land whether you like it or not. Which is not what the previous chapters have said. He said they rolled over them and they took it, and the people fled. As they rolled right over. And I said, what if this prophecy was put out there and somebody heard it and took it to the king of Assyria and said, look, they have a prophecy where you will roll over the land and you will take it all. So what if, you decide to go ahead and do it? So this could be that. Could this be the times that they're talking about, the end of days? There's still some markers missing. There's still some things missing that we have not seen yet. So I'm going to say no, but that's going to be up to you. You're going to have to figure that out, because I do not know every little thing. But again, I know enough that I'm, able to understand it. So I'm going to say no, but we'll see. We'll see how it is, because I said there's probably more stuff that's coming in the next chapters that should probably help us figure it out. But we're getting into it. We're getting into some interesting stuff. But I did want to go back just one verse, 36:22. Then came Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, that was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph, the recorder. These are the guys that were standing out there, and they heard this Rabshakeh say all this stuff. To Hezekiah, who was the king of Jerusalem at the time, with their clothes rent, and told him the words of Rabshakeh. So that's, they brought the message back to the king. So this is where 37 starts. It's a weird break, and I even said, why would they make a break there? But it is what it is. So, Isaiah 37. And it came to pass, when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes, and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of the Lord. Because that's what you do whenever you go pray at the house of the Lord. You put on sackcloth. You don't put on your finest garments. You don't take the best seats. You don't, what else was there? It was something else. I can't remember exactly what it was. Christ was getting on to the people that would come in, and when they'd come in a temple, they'd take the best seats, and they would make their appearance up to be better than everybody else, and all this other kind of stuff. And I've said it before, is that when you go through the Bible and you see when they really truly are praying to God, they are not coming in their Sunday best. They are dressed in sackcloth and they are ready to pray. Most of them will fast, and the other ones will, they will give a humble offering. They won't just buy it from the merchants right outside the temple. That's a whole nother story within itself. But he covered himself in sackcloth and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, sheesh. And he sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests covered with sackcloth, and unto Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos. This is Isaiah's book, so Isaiah is the prophet. And they said unto him, Thus saith Hezekiah, This day is a day of trouble, and of rebuke, and of blasphemy. For the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth. It may be the Lord thy God will hear the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria his master hath sent to reproach the living God, and will reprove the words which the Lord thy God hath heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer for the remnant that is left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah. Now, of course, Isaiah had this prophecy. So he's sending all these people saying, you were the one that prophesied this. You're the one that needs to pray to God to see if this is what's really happening or not. So, again, there's another thing there that's kind of pointing to the fact that this is, maybe the king of Assyria got word of the prophecy. Evil finds out evil things. I've said it a million times that, the devil knows the story. Satan knows the story just as much as everybody else. He doesn't know the full story, but he knows how it's going to end. He knows the markers that are going to happen. So it is very possible, and it just sounds logical, that Satan would do his best to trick the good people of the world into thinking that the end is coming. If you have those people afraid that the end is near, they won't fight back. If they're promised a better future, people won't fight back. If you tell them, one of these days you're going to have these armies sweep over you and you're going to die, but don't worry about it. If you die by these people's hands, you will be sent up to God and, all of this stuff. If that's a prophecy, that's awesome. That's great. That's fulfilling his promise. But if you catch wind of that, and if you say, well, I can come up on these people, they're not going to fight back, I can take it now, then it's up to God whether he wants to push his plans forward or not. And this may not be his turn. I don't know what happens next after this. I don't even remember what happens next after this. But that's how it works. And that, I've said before, scales up to modern times. This is either the true end of the world as Revelation has described it, the way that the world is happening right now. This is either the true end of the world, or the evil ones of this world are doing their best to make it seem like this is the end of the world. Like they're causing all this stuff to happen. Like they know the actual timeline. We don't know the timeline. Not God knows the timeline, but God has not told them either. But they have more of an idea than we do. So if they knew, oh, we've still got 100 and some odd years left, well, we can put the people of the world into 100 something years of slavery really easily just by doing this. So Satan doesn't play fair. So I've said this over and over again throughout the years, that just because certain markers have fallen into place that tell us that this is the end times does not necessarily mean that it's right around the corner. On that note, we may not have seen the rest of the markers because they have been hidden from us. So this very well could be. You have to keep your eyes open and keep discernment. That's all I'm saying, because we don't know, because we've been lied to so much, which we are so drowned in lies. We don't know the truth. So we have to keep our ears open, or we have to keep our eyes open. We have to keep our ears open. We have to keep faith, and we have to pray to God that He will give us that discernment. Because right now there's just so much. It's just so much that's going on that they're pushing at us, and it just seems like they're using it as they're using the Bible, they're using the book of Revelations as like a set of instructions at this point. I'm gonna take a drink of water because my throat. Nice cold water. Some people say that cold water is bad for you. I don't know. That's the only way I can drink is if it's cold. That's just me, though. But I heard somewhere somebody said cold water is bad for your system. I don't know if anybody has any ideas on that one. I'm still gonna drink it cold because it's what I like. Usually, by the time I'm done recording these, the water's already warmed up. But again, my throat is so raw because of that stupid tortilla chip yesterday. It's messed up. I had a snack of tortillas, and then later on that day we got Qdoba on top of it, and it was like, I'm eating the thing that almost killed me earlier, but whatever. So, anyways, verse 6. And Isaiah said unto them, Thus shall ye say unto your master, Thus saith the Lord, Be not afraid of the words that thou hast heard, wherewith the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. So, this is God saying, this isn't happening right now. They are coming, and they are saying that they are come in my name. They are blaspheming against me, so I shall send something to him. He shall hear a rumor. Let me make sure that this is the right word for this. He shall hear a rumor, a report, news, tidings, all right, and return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by a sword in his own land. So there you go. So, verse 8. So Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria warring against Libnah, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish. And he heard saying, oh wait, let me get it right here. And he heard say concerning Tirhakah, and he heard say concerning Tirhakah, king of Ethiopia, he is come forth to make war with thee. And when he heard it, he sent messengers to Hezekiah, saying, Thus shall ye speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, Let not thy God, in whom thou trustest, deceive thee, saying, Jerusalem shall not be given into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all lands, by destroying them utterly, and shalt thou be delivered? So he basically went back and said, don't let your God deceive you, because we're going to have you not heard that, the king of Assyria has taken all these other places, and, do you really think you're going to be delivered from this? Have the gods of the nations delivered them which my fathers have destroyed, as Gozan and Haran and Rezeph, these names, and the children of Eden, which were in Telassar? Have the gods of the nations delivered them which my fathers have destroyed, as Gozan and Haran and Rezeph, and the children of Eden, which were in Telassar? Where is the king of Hamath, and the king of Arphad, and the king of the city of Sepharvaim? Wow. Sepharvaim? Hena and Iva. Where is the king of Hamath, and the king of Arphad, and the king of the city of Sepharvaim, Hena and Iva? So this is him saying, all these cities that we've already sacked, where are these people at? We rolled right over them. We always like to look up the definitions of these names. Have the gods of the nations delivered them which my fathers have destroyed? Gozan means a cutting off. It's a quarry. It's a place of cutting stones. It's a Mesopotamian city in the middle of the Euphrates, where the exiled Israelites were settled. Oh, interesting. Haran, the name of a man and also a place. It's a mountaineer. It's a city which Abraham migrated when he left Ur of the Chaldees, where he stayed until his father died, before leaving for the Promised Land. Located in Mesopotamia. Okay. And Rezeph is a hot stone, a place conquered by Assyria. Well, of course. So you've got a cutting off, you've got a mountaineer, and you have a hot stone. And the children of Eden, which were in Telassar. It's an Assyrian hill. It's a city conquered and held by the Assyrians, located apparently in Mesopotamia. So these are all cities in Mesopotamia that they took over. Where is the king of Hamath, which is a fortress, which I think we've heard before? The king of Arphad, I shall be spread out or supported. The king of Sepharvaim, the two Sepharas. Oh, come on. You have one word that leads to another word. Sepharas. The two book towns. The two towns of the books. What? Was an ancient Near Eastern Sumerian, later Babylonian city in the east bank of the Euphrates rivers. So, a city in Assyria conquered by the king of Assyria, perhaps near the modern Mosaib, and on the Euphrates above Babylon. But it's the two Sepharas, and Sephara is a book. The two books. The two books of what? Well, that's a question, isn't it? So Hina is troubling and Iva is ruin, which fits because, apparently the king of Assyria ran right over these places. But it is interesting. It's always interesting to look up the definition of these words, even if they don't mean anything. Because again, I've said that these names to us may not mean much of anything. Just to Joe Schmo, it means nothing. To us nowadays, places like New York, Hong Kong, Moscow, they mean something to us. But these cities mean nothing because most of them are sacked and gone. So it helps to look them up to see what they are. Sometimes the definition of the name fits into the story. So that's why we look them up like that. So anyways, Repshika's coming back and he's saying, look, man, you're really going to pray to your God and you're going to hope for the best for what's coming here. And you have to know that the king of Assyria has already wiped out all the rest of these people. That you stand no chance. We're coming for you. Hold on one second. Should have like a little, like a button or something. I can have some music whenever I do that. Some like nose blowing music. So, anyways, he's saying, "Look, we're gonna come. You're gonna pray all you want to, and it's not gonna matter." Verse 14. And Hezekiah received a letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up unto the house of the Lord and read it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed unto the Lord, saying, O Lord of hosts, God of Israel, that dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the God, even thou alone of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Incline thine ear, O Lord, and hear. Open thine eyes, O Lord, and see. And hear all the words of Sennacherib, which hath sent to reproach the living God. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have laid waste all the nations and their countries, and have cast their gods into the fire. And for they were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore they have destroyed them. Have laid waste all the nations and their countries, and have cast their gods into the fire. For they were no gods, so they laid waste all these nations, and they destroyed their gods. This is not the Assyrians destroying their own gods. This is them destroying the gods of the people that they destroyed. Now therefore, O Lord our God, save us from his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord, even thou only. So this is Hezekiah coming to God saying, we know that Assyria has taken over everything. And they have destroyed everything utterly. And they have taken the gods of all the places that they have gone through. And they have burned them all and destroyed them all. Because they're nothing. They're nobody. But God, Father, you are not them. You are the one true God of this world. Show them that you are the one true God of this world. And stay their hand from harming us. That's what it's saying. It's what we should be praying. Verse 21. Then Isaiah the son of Amoz sent unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, whereas thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib king of Assyria, this is the word which the Lord hath spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed? And against whom hast thou exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel? Okay, hold on one second. So this is God speaking. This is God speaking through Isaiah to Hezekiah. I wanted to make sure that we had this right. Okay, 24. By thy servants hast thou reproached the Lord, and hast said, by the multitude of my chariots am I come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and I will cut down the tall cedars thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof, and I will enter into the height of his border, and the forest of his Carmel. Carmel was the garden land. Yeah, we did that one before. I have digged and drunk water, and with the sole of my feet I have dried up all the rivers of the besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste the defense cities. Okay, wait a minute. Let's try this one again. Verse 26. I'm going crazy on this one. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste defense cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, and as the grass on the housetops, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy abode, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me. Because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up into mine ears. Therefore will I put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest. And this shall be a sign unto thee: ye shall eat this year such as groweth of itself. In the second year, that which springeth of the same. And in the third year sow ye, and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruit thereof. And we'll come back to all this. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall again take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shields, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city, to save it for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. Then the angel of the Lord went forth, and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 180 and 5,000. 180 and 5,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. All right. So Hezekiah goes in and prays to God. And then Isaiah comes back with the word of God, saying, look, I've done all this stuff before. You've seen it for yourself. You know that this is happening. You're actually reproaching me and blaspheming me because you know the word already. You know how this works already. But you're not believing. Does that mean I'm blaspheming? Because I'm saying it's possible that the end of days has not come? Yeah, that's possible. We're reading a book word for word. That it's absolutely possible that I could be blaspheming against God because I have read the word and I have understood it. I am also saying, though, and God, again, give me the truth. That's all I want is the absolute truth. I don't want to spread lies. I don't want to give lies. I just want the truth. And we know that the evil men of this world who follow evil spirits have lied to us about so much. It's more and more the truth comes out. The more that the truth comes out, the more that we find that there is so much that has been hidden from us. The one thing that I have said from the very beginning of all this is, in the end, the Gentiles will come back to God and say, surely we have inherited lies. We have suffered through and inherited all the lies of the evil men of this world, and we cannot take it anymore. And we have seen that over and over and over again. The more that we look into everything they have given us, have told us throughout the years, it has been one lie stacked upon another, stacked upon another, stacked upon another. The way that we live, the way that we're supposed to worship, the holidays, the way that the world works, the damn shape of the earth, for crying out loud. Medicine, food, their sorceries, their pharmakia, their medicine, everything, just everything has been a lie. None of it is for profit for us at all. The Bible even says that, is everything is made to destroy us. None of it is for profit for us. The way that we live our lives, the way that we grow up, and the things they put into us in school, from the day we are born, it is one lie stacked upon another, stacked upon another. And people have gotten so used to lying, they spread it to their next generation. And then that generation, it spreads it to the next one. Their kids tell it to their kids, tell it to their kids. And it becomes so ingrained in the system that it's hard to come out of those lies. I thank God every day that He was able to pull me out of that. So does that mean whenever I bring up the concept that maybe they are tricking us, that I am blaspheming against God? That's something that I might need to, that might be something I need to look at. I don't know. That's something I will definitely be praying on. But this is God saying, look, I've done all this stuff before. And I have told you through prophecy that I can do this. That these people they're small and beneath me. And they're not going to take this city right now, because this is not the time. So I will take them and I will turn them away. And I will take them back to their cities and I will wipe them out. And there will be a remnant. There will always be a remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah that shall take root again. If I decide that I am going to uproot my people from this city, there will always be a remnant left that will be there. But then it says, therefore, concerning the king of Assyria, even if you get wiped out, there will always be a remnant. But concerning the king of Assyria, he's not going to come into this city. He's not going to shoot an arrow. He's not going to come for it with shields. I will turn him back and I will crush him because it is not the time. So you don't have to worry about it. Pretty much is what it said. It's not word for word. I could have read every single word over again, and we could have dissected every single bit of it, but that's pretty much what it is. We are not reading Isaiah so much for the tales of the wars that happened. We are not reading Isaiah for the for all of that stuff necessarily. We are reading Isaiah for the end times understanding that we were supposed to pull out of it, because there are words for us to hear here. Just like I said, with Isaiah, with Jeremiah, with Ezekiel, there are things that point right to us in these last generations. Whether it's us, whether it's 50 years from now, 100 years from now, these are words that we need to take. We can give to the next generation, so that they can take it and see it, and hopefully they can open their ears, they can open their eyes. If it's for us, then we can hear it, and we can use it. There's power in these words. There's power in these words. There's power in praying and understanding that let's put it this way. Hezekiah went into the Lord and he prayed and he said, turn them back. They are coming. They're right at the door. They're coming. Take them away from us. God said, I'm gonna turn them. I'm gonna take it away. It's not time yet. Don't worry. It's the same as Jonah and the whale. God told Jonah, go to what was it? Go to the city. I can never remember the city. Nineveh. There it is. It's good stuff. I opened the book. I opened the book to a random page, and as soon as it came up, it said Nineveh. Thank you, Father, for that. But it's he went to the people, and he said, or he went to Jonah. He said, go to these people and tell them, if they don't turn it around, I'm going to wipe them out. It's coming. It's going to come, and it's going to wipe you out, and that's going to be the end of it. And he said no. He ran away. He said, I want to do this. So God sent a whale and ate him up, or sent a fish, I should say, and ate him up. He spent 3 days in the belly. Fish spit him out, and he got where he was supposed to go. And he said, once he went through his trial, he said, or he went to the people and he said, God's going to wipe you out. I'm proof that I had to tell you this. And they turned, and they were spared. They're not going to be spared constantly, but they were spared. So it's more proof that if we were to turn back to the Father, to pray, come to Him humbly, speak honestly and truthfully, and say, the devil's right on our front door. Please protect us. He will turn it back. A lot of people don't seem to understand that. A lot of people are, and I was just thinking about that this morning, a lot of people are still under the misconception that whatever's happening in the world is going to happen in the world whether we like it or not. And all we have to do is just bow down to our masters and just go along with it. There's nothing in the Bible that says that. There's only one place that says to be subject to your masters. subject to your rulers. And that was Paul. And that's one little place. Supposedly God puts all these people where they need to be. And that doesn't take into consideration that supposedly the people of this world are the ones that are voting for all these people. God never said that he was going to allow the people of this world to be able to vote somebody into the system and that it would work out for us. He said quite the opposite. We talk about Saul all the time. The people wanted a king. And God said, I will give you a king. They said, no, we want one. So they said, all right, you choose one, but if you choose a king for yourselves, you're not going to have a good time. And he sent them Saul, and Saul was not a good ruler. It's the same thing with us. We have been supposedly picking our own rulers for the past 200 years. And God never said that he was going to do that. He said he would send us a king. If we prayed for a king, he would send us a king. And we haven't been praying for a king. People are saying that, oh, well, we're praying for a president. Yeah, but you're still picking the president. You're not praying for God to send you a king, somebody that's going to rule over you. If you really want somebody to rule over you, you need to ask God. You can't just cast a vote. Not only have we found out that voting can be tricked and manipulated, but, again, God said that's not the way that it's supposed to happen. So it's this world, it's this trick. That's the problem. We have been lied to so much. So we have to pray to God to help us turn it around. If any of that makes any sense at all. And I'm sure I've gotten so far off the topic that it doesn't even make sense anymore. So let's get back onto this. The angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Syrians 104 score and 5,000. Is that what? 185,000? Isn't that what a 4 score is? Is it 20 years? Is that what 4 score is? Oh God, I'm about to look this up too. And I am tired today as well. Wait, what? 4 times 20? 80? It's 180. Oh, that was right, wasn't it? 185,000. What did I say? 20? A score is 20, so 4 times 20. So it's 185,000. 125,000. Okay. 185,000. Now that we know. Those are for all you number people. I don't know what it means, but any number in the Bible means something. When they arose in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. Okay, verse 37. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god, that, oh wow, Adrammelech and Sherezer, his sons, smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia. And Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead. And that's the end of that chapter. So, 2 things to learn here. First thing is, we have gotten this prophecy that at the end of times there will be this king of Assyria that will come through and that will destroy everything. And that everything shall be laid waste. and there shall be nothing left. Now, you can take that two ways. That is an end times prophecy, that there will be a king of Assyria that will rise up and will flow through the land and destroy everything. Or, and just remember, we were talking that everything in the Bible seems to repeat in ways. So, this was a king of Assyria. This Sennacherib was a king of Assyria that rose up to power, and he said, I'm going to take Jerusalem next. So when he came to do it, and Hezekiah, the king of Jerusalem, went to pray to God and said, God, turn him back. And that's whenever God said, you really think that this is the time that it's going to happen? I can turn him back real easily, because Jerusalem is my city. And it is not time yet. Or it could have been very easily that, he prayed and had him turned away, just like Nineveh. They saw Jonah pop out. And that was whenever they all turned back towards God, and they turned away from the destruction that was coming upon them. It is another classic tale of, if you turn back towards God, he will protect you. Which is a good lesson to have. You can be saved. You can always be saved. It is over and over again. It's the same tale of the prodigal son. All you have to do is just come back. It's all he wants. Come back, turn away from the evil of this world. So you can take it in one of two ways. That we still have this tale of, this Assyrian is coming. So there's a good message in that. Turn back towards God. So, Nisroch. It is always interesting to look at these gods. The great eagle. It's a Babylonian idol. Oh, there's an eagle god. Crying out loud. Oh man, it's the eagle god carrying the purse and the pineapple. What? Oh, there's one of the fish gods too. Oh, let me pull you guys into this. I want to show you this for a second. There's tons of these. Wait, where's... Oh, what the heck? OBS changed again. Okay, there we go. It's crazy stuff, man. Just crazy, crazy stuff. Make sure that's still recording. All right. This is your Nisroch. This is your eagle god. This is the guy carrying the purse, carrying this weird and some people have said it's not a purse. It's symbolic for the earth. I don't believe that. I think this is some kind of machine, and I think that this thing he's holding, this little pine cone deal, I think it's part of the machine. People have called it the pineal gland. That's possible. That's what it is too. I think it's part of this thing that he's carrying. I don't know. But again, of course, you have the pine tree. This is them. Some people have said this is supposed to be a palm tree. It's a pine tree. They're pulling pine cones. I don't know why they're pulling pine cones, but there's something to it. But they're worshiping a tree. These are eagles. This is an eagle god worshiping a tree. These are eagles. I bet you these guys became Romans. How much you want to bet? I mean, they came from Egyptians. It's so much history shows us that there are so many of these cultures that worship these eagles These eagle gods. And sure enough, the symbol of a Maruka, the land of the plumed serpent, is a damned eagle. You have the eagle of Russia, which is a double-headed eagle. And they're not even eagles, they're phoenixes. It's the phoenix rising from... A phoenix itself is a... It's a fiery eagle. It's a fiery bird. There's not much difference, really. It's just one of them's on fire and comes out of the ashes. But it's the same concept. I mean, it's like it's the same concept of, you take a tree out of the forest, you cut it into the shape of a god, you put it in your house, and you worship it. It's the same concept as cutting a tree from the forest, not cutting it into the shape of a god, planting it in your house, and then decorating it and worshiping it. It's the same thing, just a little bit different. It's a little tweaked. That's what they do. They hide. They found out that they can hide their pagan idols behind softer images. It's like Santa Claus. Old Saint Nick. You look up the term Old Nick, and it's a word for the devil. You put saint in there, and it's still there. There's nothing. Saint Nicholas is, I doubt, was ever even a real thing to begin with. I'm sure people will be like, "Oh no, we'll see. It's written right here that he's yada yada yada." It's like, yeah, but the term Old Nick, Nick, Old Nick, means the devil. Let's see if I can do this without getting into too much trouble. Old Nick. Not old Nickelodeon shows. What the hell is this? Get out of here with this nonsense. Old Nick, noun, informal, a jocular name for Satan. What's the meaning of Old Saint Nick? Saint Nick, the legendary patron saint of children, an imaginary being who was thought to bring presents to children at Christmas. An imaginary being. Father Christmas, Kris Kringle, Santa Claus. Saint Nick. Old Saint Nick. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. It's just lies. But they took one thing and they changed it just enough so that it would, be used against you, to confuse you. Their gods are still there. They worship their gods. It's just that they have gone further back into hiding. Jeremiah and Ezekiel both. The beginning of those chapters talks about Jeremiah especially is pulled around from place to place, and he's told by God, "Look in this door. Look in this crack in the wall. Look behind this." I just posted this the other day to somebody on Twitter where they were getting a little weirded out by Hunter Biden's laptop, and they were saying, you better be, as a Christian, you better be, this is some pretty evil stuff that you're posting. You better make sure that this is right and this is truth. And I'm a Christian and I'm looking for truth in everything. And this better be. And all I could say was, as a Christian, as somebody that's reading the Bible, you should know that evil is 5 times worse behind the curtain. What you see is only the surface of it. What they do behind closed doors is way worse than you will ever know. So when somebody tells you on the surface, if there's somebody out there, doing drugs, taking advantage of little kids, all this other kind of stuff, you have to understand it's 5 times worse. This evil has been hidden from us for years, and that's how they do it. They hide it behind soft objects. You willingly give yourself over to it by not understanding what these things are, by not understanding what Old Nick is, by not understanding what pine trees are, by not understanding what these eagle gods are, why there is an eagle on the back of just about every bit of coin and currency that you have had for the past 4,000 years, 5,000 years. It was on the back of Egyptian currency. It was on the back of Roman currency. It was on the back of Greek currency. It's on the back of the quarter, the U.S. American quarter. It is an eagle over and over and over again. And then they stamp the heads of their kings on the front of it. Didn't we take the country away from a King George? Isn't that what it was? And then miraculously, the first president of the United States was George Washington. Didn't we? Isn't that what it was? Wasn't it King George? I don't even remember now. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. It's all a trick. It's all been a trick from the very first day. Satan does not play fair. He has never played fair. It's always been like this. Where was the one that I saw? There's your fish god, Dagon. Dagon and the eagle. The birds made it through the flood. Who else made it through the flood? The fish gods. This is your papal hat right here. It's all, every single bit of it, man. It's all just one big lie. This is your crown of feathers that the supposed Native Americans used to wear. It's so much. It's a lot. It gets to you. It gets to me. That's a lot. You see it over and over and over again. You have South America is the land of the plumed serpents. It's the Amaru, the Amaruka. I do not believe in this America Vespucci bullshit crap. I don't believe it. It didn't. I don't think it happened. I think it's just another excuse. But the Amaru, the Amaruka, is the land of the plumed serpents. Maru was a winged serpent that used to rule. That the Mayans, the Incans, I think they believed in some form of or another. Quetzalcoatl was kind of the same way. But then you have the Native Americans that dress up like this Nisroch? Is that his name? How do you pronounce it? Nisroch. Syrian god. Yeah, but how do you... Nisroch? I have no clue. Oh, this comes from a fandom. Nice. Which is how most of these gods keep going on, is they constantly use these same old gods in video games and in books and movies and all this kind of stuff. They just, they change the names. But this, if you don't understand it, that is a Native American headdress. This is Native American fringes. This is what these people were worshiping. Of course, people have pointed this out too. This looks like machinery. His legs, his arms, they look mechanical. Then he's wearing a watch. Bracelet, if you want to, whatever, is fine. But he's carrying his little purse, which we don't know what that is, and then it's usually a pine cone in his other hand. This would explain a little bit better. You can see what they wear. That's Native American garb. This is the land of the bald eagle. These people were worshiping this stuff. Am I wrong? But you have South America, which is a plume serpent. You have North America, which was an eagle god. Then you have Mexico right in the middle. What is Mexico? Well, Mexico has a flag, a Mexican flag. It's an eagle fighting a snake. Oh, ooh. Am I wrong on that one? Okay, let's Mexican flag. It's an eagle fighting a snake. It's an eagle fighting a snake, people. Come on now. There are there is hidden knowledge underneath everything. Hidden symbolism, hidden knowledge underneath everything. And trying to figure all of this stuff out it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it is hard. But it is there, and you can see it over and over and over and over. And it all connects. It all connects in one way, shape, or form. So Amaru. Of course, you get all this other crap. God. There you go. Oh, that's nice. This Amaru, this plumed serpent. Here's one like this. I've seen them like this. That's got like the weird, warped perception. Amaru. It's a flying serpent. Oh, look, it's got like giraffe heads. It's weird. The Amaru. What is that? That's different. Something like that, though. It's a dragon. Talks about the dragon in that's from YouTube. I might watch that today. The land of the plume serpent. This is South America. Again, this was South America. And then North America is this. And then in the middle is this. It's just, if you don't see it. If you don't see it, I'm sorry. At the same time, though, you have this this dragon, this plumed serpent. You have it in Japan, too. The Japanese, every year, they pull out the big flying dragon. It's just like a long snake that flies around. You've seen them. I don't remember what they're called. They have these things too. It's all part of this. It's all part of this knowledge that we don't have anymore. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There's something to this. There's something to all this. There's absolutely every single little bit of this. That's almost Japanese right there. Well, no, that's a toy. But it's here. It's constantly here. Over and over and over and over. In our face. Always in our face. That's the eagle killing the rattlesnake. Supposedly the rattlesnake was the imagery that the Patriots were using whenever they fought the revolution. It's the rattlesnake. Don't step on the coiled serpent. Because the coiled serpents will strike. And then Mexico. So I don't know, man. Something to it or another. Now this image we have found This bad boy has shown up in many different places. It's shown up in South America, has shown up in Mesopotamia, has shown up in parts of China, has shown up in parts of Russia. This image, or something similar to the effect. I don't have the thing with me that shows that, there was like 4 different pictures and like, this is from here, this is from here, this is from here. Because we looked up this god directly and we found this. This right here. And they say that's a palm tree. But it's not a palm tree, it's a pine tree. They're pulling pine cones either off of it or they're using the pine tree in order to do something to it. I don't know. Oh, you can even get a face mask with it. How cute. They're putting anything on face masks now because people are idiots. Let's see, there's the purse. There's the purse. I don't know what it is. Many different people have speculated, but who knows? I think it's part of some machine. Maybe. All right, that's enough out of me. There is a massive amount of hidden meanings, that's why they call it a cult. The word occult just means hidden. It doesn't mean satanic so much. It just, people have changed the word occult to mean, satanic and evil. No, it just means hidden. It's occulted. God has occult messages in the Bible. It's not satanic. It's occult. It's occulted. It's hidden. It's the old it's the glory of God to hide a thing. It's the honor of kings to search a thing out. It's occulted. It's just secret. That's all it is. We've changed that word slowly to mean evil. But there are so many hidden occult things in this world, like that are just more puzzle pieces. We are drowning in lies, drowning in evil. This is what we have to use discernment, try to figure this stuff out. Because we don't have the message. The people on top have they have the understanding. They have the wisdom that we don't get to have. I've talked about the family lines, the top tier family lines, the actors, the politicians, the musicians, all the ones that get pushed, the ones that get famous. They're all related. It's these family bloodlines that when they grow up, they're taught to be different. They're taught to act different. They're taught all the things we're not taught. They have all the occult, hidden knowledge, and they are told to keep it private, to keep it hidden from the lesser people of this world, so that we don't find out. That's how it works. They have the knowledge we don't. One of these days we're going to get it. One of these days we're going to find out. They've done really good job up until recently hiding a lot of this stuff, but it's starting to seep out slowly but surely. I don't know how. Maybe they're releasing it because they are so close to being able to take us over at this point that they're letting it all go. Because they know that no matter what, we can't fight back. But we can. We have to come to God. We have to come back to God and pray to God. But we are learning things day by day by day. Just little things. Just little, stuff like that. It's an eagle god. This eagle is the symbol that they have used everywhere. The dual-headed eagle is a symbol they have used everywhere. It's on the back of your money. It's on the back of your money. It's always been on the back of the money. The Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, the who were the ones before that? Oh, come on. Starts with a C, I think. I cannot remember now. They used to worship the eagle, while others worship the snake, the dragon. It always comes back to one or the other. So, hidden stuff, man. Stuff we gotta look out for. All right, I have gone on far enough. Thank you guys for listening. We will keep going. I'm trying to figure out a way that I can change up my schedule because I've been waking up. I wake up at 5 o'clock. I don't have to really work. I don't have to really go to work until 8, but I wake up early in order to record, and it wears on you a little bit, you know. Once you get everything done and set up and ready to go, and the reading isn't tiring me out. It's after I get done and I'm trying to get ready for work and I get tired. So that's the stuff. And I'm just trying to figure out where I can get like an extra hour of sleep because I'm only sleeping like 7 hours a night. So I'm trying to figure it out. If that means that I have to do shorter videos, then maybe we gotta do shorter videos. I don't know. So, anyways, again, God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. It's stuff to look into, man. Look into this whole thing. Amaru Ka. That was that YouTube video, whatever it was. I'll find it again. I'm gonna go watch that. It was down, and I think I probably already have watched it, knowing me. Where is it at? Amaru. Let's go back up a little bit. I think it was up here. I want to watch that. Hopefully it's still on YouTube. You know, sometimes these things get pulled. I'm sure if it's not on YouTube, then it's on somewhere else. But yeah, man, that's the big stuff. There is something to the whole process. This whole Amaru Eagle God, there it is. Who is this? Oh, it's 2 hours long. Awesome. Oh, I'm already subscribed to this guy. I've watched this. I've watched it because I've liked it. Kurameo, how is this the same one that does? Yes, he does. He's one of those that says that black people were in America way before white people, and that is true. He also talks about Black George Washington. Maybe. Who knows? I know some people hear that stuff and they're like, "Oh man, that's the dumbest thing in the world." This is the guy that also he takes the Native American pictures and recolors them, and it's amazing that take some pictures of Native Americans from the 1800s. You recolor them to make them a little bit darker, and it's like, oh, they were black. You can see it. That's, you know. I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm just saying that there's something to it. There's something to what these guys are saying. You know, again, we talk about Dan Calloway, and there's something to him talking about the how fake the slave trade was. That was an unexpected sneeze. That jumped right up on me. Oh, wow. But you got Dane Calloway out there talking about, all these words and terms that we use for slavery. They just aren't there. Um, how we would have had to have had X amount of ships running 24 hours a day, bringing over, twice as many slaves as they said that they had in them, in order to reach the number of black people that were in America at the time. Not only that, who else was there? Somebody else that was talking about it too on Friday. It fit in with it. That it wasn't just it was black and white slaves. Now we knew that, and everybody calls them indentured servants. At that same token, servitude, which I think is just another way, they've changed the words servant into slave in order to get people to think, oh, these people weren't working for anything. Yet we found plenty of evidence that throughout the years, servitude in America, even the slaves, what we would know as slaves, they made money. But then we also find the books, the law in Virginia, I think it is, where they talk about Native American and black slave owners cannot hold Christian slaves anymore, which is white people, which is white slaves anymore. It's what they say. I'm not gonna get into who is and isn't a Christian, but it's on the books. It says that Native American slave owners and black slave owners cannot own white slaves, Christian slaves. I don't know how that works. But we've known that. We knew that there were Native American slave owners. We knew that there were black slave owners. They don't tell you that. What they want you to know is that, there were nothing but white slave, white cotton plantation slave owners, and that was it. There was nothing else out there. But we've been finding out, guys like Dane Calloway, guys like these other guys I've been listening to, that all records indicate that there were millions of black Native Americans, not just brown Native Americans, black Native Americans that were here way before anybody else got here. And that it is entirely possible that they were Hebrew. We've found plenty of artifacts that show that there were Hebrew people and Hebrew speaking people that were here way before anybody else. We also found that there were Egyptians here too. Lots of Egyptians. So something was going on in America way before anything else. It wasn't just something that was magically found by Columbus or this America Vespucci. The name was already here. People were already here. Something was going on here. And then, of course, you've got brown Native Americans that say that they came out of the caves in the West, that they were hidden down there by these ant people. And when they came out, all of this stuff was already here. All of these, mounds and buildings and things. So they say that they didn't build it. Then who did? Why do we have all these mounds and these pyramids, things like that, scattered all over America? Why do we have mounds in Ohio that are in the shape of Hebrew letters? What's that stuff about? I wish I could find that video again, man. That's been like 5 years since I've seen that video. I wish I could find that again, where a guy was on Google Maps and he found half of a Hebrew letter as a mound. The other half was farmland, and the farmer had, wiped it all off, but you could still see the outline. Even though these guys get rid of these hills, there's still like an outline, unless they're constantly digging up the dirt over and over and over again. You could see the outline of this letter, but he said it's just right off the road. Really nondescript. You'd never think that it was there, but it's sitting right there. It's a Hebrew letter, and I can't remember what letter it was, but he was like, it's right there. You can see it. It's right there on the map. What does that mean? What does that mean? What's going on here? So you've got, the possibility that there were millions upon millions of these black Hebrews in America, and then these brown Indians, these brown Native Americans come up out of the ground from these supposed ant people. And they say all this stuff was already here. And then you have these white colonialists that come in and just take over everything. Now, apparently there was, then on top of that, you have Tartaria. You have all of these old world, old tech buildings that look like they've been here forever and a day. That, you've got these mud floods that covered everything up. It's like 20, 30 feet of dirt. Something happened. Something big and bad happened to cover all this stuff up. So, what's going on? What is it? Not only that, but it's the land of the Pluden serpents. It's the land of the eagle god, this Nirosh, whatever the hell his name is. Nisroch. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to process. We have been lied to. It's not the truth. It's all a lie. So, what does it mean? What does it all mean? What's the connecting tissue? What's going on here? That's time to start praying. Time to ask God what it all means. What is it that we are missing? What is it? So anyways, that's enough of all that. I'm going to go. You guys take care of yourselves. God bless every one of you. I shall see you all later. Take it easy.